Hi, Mr. C here in the wood shop. As you recall, the last couple of videos we've been talking about board feet and using measurement inside woodworking. So our last video was taking fractions and converting them into decimals, so that way you can go ahead and create a formula or fill in the formula to go ahead and figure out the board feet or the volume of a board, so that we can figure out the cost. Like I said before, like if we have a board like this, it's not going to come from the lumber mill all just perfect at perfect lengths, okay, where we can end up with fractions that are like 3/8, 7/8, 3/4 or whatnot. So this will allow for us to go ahead and figure out the cost by just going through this with you. And that's what I'd like to address today is how to figure out the cost of a part to your project, okay? So I'm gonna set this board down here, and then I kind of took the liberty of putting something on this whiteboard to kind of illustrate what's going on as far as how to figure out the price of a project. So finding the price of a project with using board feet. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the thickness of my piece times the width of my piece times the length. That's gonna give me the square inches or the volume. Now I'm gonna divide that by 144. If you remember in our past video, is that a foot is 12 inches, right? And 12 times 12 is 144. That's where we get that number. So once you've taken the total square inches, divide that by 144, that's going to give you the board feet per part. Now, to figure out how much does my part cost, I'm going to take the board feet times the number of parts. So for instance, if we have 4 legs in a table, I'd have 4 of these. That's going to give me my total board feet of the part. And I'm going to multiply that times the green, you know, because it's going to cost you some green. The amount of money per board foot. And that's going to equal the total cost. You figure that out, or you multiply that together, the total cost of that part. Now, for instance, I have a nice sheet that lays things out. So let's just come over here real quick, and I can discuss this in a little bit further detail where you can get a better understanding. Now, I have taken the liberty of taking the sheet that I discussed with you as the fraction to decimal conversion. So that way when I figure out my bill of materials, I can go ahead and I've placed on this sheet of paper, if you look at the bill of materials here, this is the legs, the upper aprons, the lower aprons, the slats, the top, and the shelf, and how many there are of each. Now, this bill of materials will help me go ahead and lay out the total cost of my project. Now, if you just follow it along, and I'm going to go through this with you, but we're just going to take 1 second break, okay? So I need to go get a pen, and then I'm going to come back here and I'm going to discuss with you how to go ahead and fill this sheet in so that we can figure out the total cost of this project, okay?